This session will focus on the significance of non-kinetic warfare in securing national strategic space capabilities. Military practitioners will discuss various methods to enhance resilience against threats in the space domain, including electronic warfare, signal jamming, and anti-spoofing tactics. The discussion will also cover advanced technologies like directed energy systems and AI-driven threat detection that bolster operational security. Participants will gain insight into developing comprehensive framework for safeguarding national interests in space while addressing the evolving challenges posed by.
So with this, I now call upon Colonel Whelan. And he's, as I told you, he's the NAVIC man of India.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity, especially to SIA. See, we started talking about space assets and how do we use it within the armed forces. In around 2007-8, we started talking about it. 2008, we organized a small conference here in Delhi. Then slowly we created an integrated space cell. I'll be very fast in talking. If you want to interrupt, you can interrupt and ask me. We had an integrated space cell, something again defensive type of thing. Then we created Defense Space Agency, again defensive in approach. Whereas space is a new platform for fighting. It's an aspect that has been understood by the world community way back in Cold War times, not today. This platform, what are we going to do? And it's very good that today at national level we are talking about protecting our space assets, which means we have to be aggressive in protecting this. That way I'm thankful for SIA for having brought out this subject. How do you protect? You put a space asset and go and protect your asset, then it's all a cowboy type of thing which has happened long time back. It's not an organized way. How do you protect your assets? You can protect your asset if there is an international law for that. So, but what do we have today? You have UN USA and some very rudimentary space laws. Germany and China thought about together around 2010, they started bringing a new set of space laws, which was more towards towards putting more bombs or more offensive weapons in space. They were trying to bring such a thing. We need to have our own rightful space-based rules and laws. As a government, as a nation, we should ask for it. Being one of the spacefaring nations, we should now fight for having such a proper body. After Second World War, we had this UN trying to resolve so-called fights or so-called conflicts. Have they ever done it? In space, do we have anything rudimentary like that for having to stop our conflicts in space? Space is already weaponized. If you read what has been happening during Cold War time, space is already weaponized. How do you go stop it? For example, I tell you, around 2008-9, one mission of the US space shuttle took a communication satellite of Indonesia, placed another communication satellite, which means they perfected the technology at that time. They can go and pick up any satellite. A geo satellite is the topmost thing. If they can pick up a geo satellite, they can do any MEO satellite, LEO satellite. How are you going to protect it without having an international law against it? Okay, having got, let's say there is international law. Who is talking here in the government side in India? In our concept, we generally have CCS. Who is talking in space in CCS? That as a body we should talk about. We should have a space governing body at national level. There was a movement under General Kandare having a national geospatial authority in place to at least sort out these images and how do you position yourself, etc. It has not come out so far. If we cannot sort out our own utilization of space assets within our own boundaries, how are you going to say that when someone else comes to me, how do I stop it? So we need to have something like that, some structure at national level. Beyond DSA, first thing we should have a space forces. It's not just a Defense Space Agency. We should have a Indian Space Forces in place, like America. Then only people will start listening to us. If we don't have a space force, we cannot show off our weapons. In 2010, DRDO again published one of the greeting cards. They said we have anti-SAT capability. And of course, General Broad was talking about if you have anti-sat capability, it is detrimental to you, not to them. 2010, China did it, and it was detrimental to them. How do you stop a rogue from firing your launcher to create a problem against in your own aerospace? How do you stop it? At national level, we should have someone thinking about it and enact such rules and regulations. So that's my point of view. When you come on to securing national space assets. Apart from that, when you come on to geospatial authority and all that thing, I've explained that thing. More and more we start using space assets. It's not going to be just Army, Navy, Air Force, it's going to be civilian as well. So amalgamation of industry, the armed forces, and the public is required when we start using and protecting the national assets. Okay. Then the approach, one of the best approach what I found is that if you want to administer or to protect your assets which are in LEO, you go to MEO satellites. If you have MEO satellites, you go to GEO. If you have to protect the GEO satellites, you have to go beyond that. Are we thinking about it? If I have to protect my GEO satellite, I should be beyond GEO, protecting it. What about the outstation in moon to protect our assets in Earth? Is what you have to think about. Space as a domain is not restricted to like land warfare, your boundaries are the international boundary is there. Not like that. It is beyond. Anything above Earth is space. So do we talk about that? If such a force is there, then we talk about the international law in outer space we have to talk about. How do we protect people from there? This type of technologies we need to develop to protect our own space capabilities. Today, to protect the capability to protect our space assets is almost nil. It's the right thing that we brought out a topic today so that we at least start thinking in protecting our space assets in a more aggressive terms. Thanks for this opportunity.
And here, I'll request all of you to please give a round of applause to this panel. And I'm sure we had a very short and useful discussion. Thank you very much, and thank you, sir. And thank you, General Panu, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much. Indeed, a useful session. We can have a group picture.